If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Central defender confirms he wants to play for Liverpool as soon as possible. Liverpool defence has been the centre of attention for the last few months. Many expected an addition in the winter window, with both Connor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong out injured, but no reinforcements were added. The Reds did agree a deal to bring in Jeremy Jacquet, one of Europe's most sought-after central defenders, in the summer. It appeared at the end of the transfer window that Arne Slot would have no choice but to use the limited options available to him already, but he may have been overlooking one player. Liverpool's academy has produced several excellent talents recently, and the solution to the Reds' defensive fragility may already be at the club. Speaking to the LFC Academy social media team, central defender Carter Pinnington has revealed his lofty aspirations for the rest of the campaign. When asked what he wanted to achieve by the end of the season, the 18-year-old replied, "Make my Liverpool debut." Pinnington, who is already a regular for Liverpool's U21 side, has played 14 Premier League 2 matches this season and also played every minute of the Reds' UEFA Youth League campaign. The defender also represents England at U18 level, even captaining his country at youth level. When asked to describe his playing style in 3 words, the youngster replied, "Passionate, hard-working, winner." Pinnington has already trained with Liverpool's first team on multiple occasions this season, and the defender's hard-working attitude and determination will surely land him an opportunity to shine on the biggest stage at some point. After joining his boyhood club at U7 level, it would be a great moment for both the 18-year-old and Liverpool supporters to see the young defender make a senior appearance for the Reds. If Liverpool's backline continues to be plagued by injury, Pinnington could be the perfect option for Slot, and, even if it doesn't come this season, it feels as though it is only a matter of time until he is handed his senior debut. Liverpool contacted in first step towards mammoth €100 million deal. Liverpool have been contacted as the first step towards another major transfer. Things could develop from here. 2025 was a massive year for Liverpool on the transfer front. They spent an enormous amount of money and not on too many transfers. Really, they spent massively on a few. Hugo Ekitike arrived for around £80 million, but even that was dwarfed by 2 more attacking arrivals. Florian Wirtz became Liverpool's first 9-figure signing back at the start of June. He was followed by Alexander Isak, whose transfer would break the English transfer record. In all, those 3 transfers stand as the most expensive in Liverpool's history. A rebuild of the Reds' attack, but one that's not actually finished. The team needs a new winger and potentially a very expensive one. That's why the club has been contacted about another big money move. Team Talk reports that Liverpool have been contacted about a move for Nico Williams. The Spain star only signed a new contract with Athletic Bilbao last summer, but it appears he could be on the move again in 2026. That deal came with a release clause, the report states, costing around €100 million. Williams may be willing to finally move in the summer, should a team pay it. And Liverpool have been alerted. The suggestion there is that the winger would be open to a move to Anfield if they're also open to it. We imagine they would be. Liverpool need a winger who offers drive and pace, having lost Luis Diaz in the summer without a replacement. Williams would certainly offer them that. In fact, he's just about the perfect option for what the Reds are chasing. Williams is a physical runner, but one who can offer both goals and assists. Moreover, he's been a part of a successful Spain side, proving he's the kind of player who can deliver towards major honors. This is firmly one to watch, then. Williams could be up for grabs, and at the ideal time for Liverpool. "I left Liverpool last summer and it was a good decision, I had no doubts about." Liverpool sold Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich for a fee that could reach $88 million, £65 million, including add-ons last summer, and he has scored 19 goals since the transfer move. Luis Diaz has opened up on why it was the right move for him to leave Liverpool in the summer, with the Colombian making an $88 million, £65 million, transfer to Bayern Munich. Under Vincent Kompany, Diaz has 34 goal contributions so far this season for his new club, 19 goals and 15 assists. Bayern Munich has been flying and finished only behind Arsenal in the Champions League standings, in addition to being 6 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga table. "When FC Bayern approached me, I knew from the very first moment that I wanted to make this move," Diaz told Sky Germany. "It filled me with pride because I'd known the club for a long time and knew what to expect there. It was a good decision, a decision for an incredible and fantastic team. And when you arrive somewhere new, you naturally want to give your best and feel comfortable where you are. Being happy is the most important thing for a player and his family. It was exactly the right decision to come here. I knew that I would be joining an incredibly great group of footballers and a club with excellent infrastructure and a fantastic training ground. I had no doubt about that. The most difficult thing for me and my family was, and still is, certainly the language, but I knew that I would fit in very well here. I knew that I would contribute to the team's success, just as I had done before in Liverpool. So FC Bayern placed their trust in me, and I'm trying to repay that trust on the pitch. Diaz has been outstanding for Bayern Munich so far, though it was not necessarily the wrong decision for Liverpool to let him leave. The Reds got a good price for a 29-year-old winger who wanted to leave and had only 2 years remaining on his contract. It makes me very proud to play in a team with Harry, Kane, and Michael Olise. They are technically spectacular, Diaz continued. Kane surprised me a lot. I had seen him play in England, because we faced Tottenham several times. But it's one thing to watch him on the opposing team. It's another to actually share the locker room with him and stand with him every day on the training pitch and see how he works for us as a team, how he moves, how he constantly drops back, demands the ball, and of course, how he scores goals. He's a machine. He really does everything well. I'm very proud to be part of this attack. Anfield Signal says Diaz was a great player for Liverpool and he is missed. The mistake was not replacing him, rather than selling him, though. It was the right time to cash in and for him to move on given the circumstances. Arne Slot sent Champions League message as 3 players lead to Liverpool change. Liverpool might have turned a corner in recent weeks, but there is still more work to be done for Arne Slot and his players to overtake Manchester United and Chelsea. Liverpool has found some form in recent matches, though there is still more work to be done by Arne Slot and his players. And with the race for the Champions League places ongoing, that improvement needs to continue. Both Manchester United and Chelsea have also done well in recent weeks, and only 2 out of the 3 teams are expected to make the top 5 in the Premier League, which should be enough to make UEFA's top competition. I think they have been better, and I think individuals may have turned a corner, Sky Sports pundit and former Arsenal striker Alan Smith told best betting sites. Milos Kerkez seemed to do well at the weekend, with a good assist. Florian Wirtz is now achieving more consistency, and we're starting to see why they spent so much money. So better times for them, and I think they've got a good chance of finishing in a Champions League spot, 5th position maybe. They're hunting down Chelsea, and I think maybe they'll just pip them to that 5th spot. But it's looking better for them. Ibrahima Konate has shown that he's a top-class player. Obviously, he had a difficult start to the season, made a lot of mistakes, but he's settled down now, and he's got a great partnership with Virgil van Dijk, who has been speaking highly of him. So, I would imagine if he wants to stay, Liverpool would want him to stay. So, they would want to come to an agreement because finding a replacement for somebody like that costs a lot of money, and you're not always sure it's going to work. But Arne Slot, that will encourage him, the fact that Konate is now showing much better form. Having won the Premier League last season, Slot has overseen a transition to a new team in this campaign. But with things looking up, there is still a Champions League spot and 2 pieces of silverware to play for. If we don't have Champions League football, it's definitely not been an acceptable season, the Reds boss admitted recently. When I arrived here we could only sign Federico Chiesa and that was after a Europa League season. That does have an enormous impact on the way this club is run, that is clear. We are completely aware. That is a difficult question for me to answer because I don't decide on my future, the Dutchman said when asked if he would still be in a job if Liverpool didn't make the Champions League. The only thing I do know is that it happened before, and recently, and it didn't affect the future of that manager. But that doesn't guarantee anything of course. Maybe somewhere else it is not only about results, but mainly. And at some clubs, they also look at the progress the players make, the progress the team makes, and the circumstances are sometimes taken into account. That is not at all clubs, but I think I am working at a club that does look at those things, as it has shown that in the past when the club did not qualify for the Champions League. Virgil van Dijk sends clear message to Liverpool bosses over club's next captain. Virgil van Dijk has 18 months left to run on his contract at Liverpool, but the Dutchman has already picked the player who could potentially succeed him once he decides to leave. Virgil van Dijk believes Dominik Szoboszlai could become Liverpool captain despite questions over his future. The Hungarian midfielder has been the Reds' star performer this season, having already scored 10 goals. Van Dijk has been Liverpool captain since 2023 but with just 18 months remaining on his contract at Anfield, thought is already turning to who could potentially be past the armband. And the defender believes that Szoboszlai could be a contender. He said, "Obviously he has been very good. Also a player who I think can still make the next step in terms of being a leader for this team. It starts by leading by example and that's something he has done so far this season. But also everything around it, there is still progress to be made and that's a good thing in my opinion, so hopefully he will be very important for the years to come at Liverpool." Van Dijk's comments on Szoboszlai come when the midfielder's own future at Liverpool is up in the air. The former RB Leipzig midfielder has just 2 years left to run on his contract, while Hungary boss Marco Rossi has suggested that he is keen on a move to Real Madrid. He said, "Because of the very close and direct relationship I have with Dominik Szoboszlai since he started playing football as a child, Real Madrid has always been his dream. I don't know if he'll be able to take that step, because the decision depends on him and also on his club." Despite those comments, Rossi has suggested that he could still see Szoboszlai committing his future to Liverpool. He added, "I absolutely don't rule out the possibility of him staying at Liverpool and renewing his contract there, especially because he's highly valued within the club." Szoboszlai's agent has also offered his take on the Liverpool man's future. Speaking to Hungarian publication NB1, Matyas Esterházy said, "It's completely normal for the public, when Dominik is performing like this, to talk about what's next and if there's something higher." Szoboszlai's agent has also offered his take on the Liverpool man's future. Speaking to Hungarian publication NB1, Matyas Esterházy said, "It's completely normal for the public, when Dominik is performing like this, to talk about what's next and if there's something higher." Szoboszlai joined Liverpool from German side RB Leipzig in 2023 and he has gone on to score 25 goals in 129 appearances in all competitions.